Hey, everybody, we're here. New episode, 5 for Talking, episode 2 of Free Agent Frenzy. This episode, we're going to do a little bit more focus on teams, some Leaf stuff, some Edmonton stuff, some Canadian teams as well. We're going to start it off here. Let's do what? Chicago Blackhawks. Let's kind of finish it off with them. So, I mean, if you have Tays back, hopefully he stays healthy. They picked up Tyler Johnson, which was another loss for Tampa Bay. I think right now they look pretty good. And then on defensively, they got Seth Jones and they got McCabe. And obviously, the big news is they got Fleury in net. Any thoughts on this?
Doesn't change my opinion of what I mentioned. They're making a run for it. And I think Marc-Andre Fleury is a huge pickup.
Yeah.
Huge pickup. I mean, he's won with the Penguins. He's brought Vegas to the final. He can get the job done. I know he's a little up there in age now, but I think the fact that the way he left Vegas will give him a little bit more motivation to get back at Vegas. They're in the same division now, aren't they?
No.
Chicago and Vegas, no?
I don't
Vegas,
think so.
Oh, sorry, conference.
Conference, yes.
So he's going to have a more of a FU every time
good for him.
Once he plays them. I think he's going to have an extra motivation next year. Taves is back next year, correct?
Yeah. Taves is back. Kane is healthy. You picked up Bjorkstrom. You picked up Tyler Johnson on forwards. And then on defense, you got Jake McCabe, Seth Jones, and you got Caleb Jones. So, I mean, I think my personal opinions, I think Chicago made amazing moves this offseason. And not to mention they picked up draft picks as well for making a lot of those trades. So New Jersey is the second team that I think did the best or had the best offseason. So we'll go through that quickly. They got Tatar. They got Nolan Foote. They made a lot of good re-signings on their team. And then they brought in Ryan Graves from Colorado. And they brought in Dougie Hamilton. That's two guys that on almost any NHL team would be your 1 and 2 defensemen.
And they got PK Subban there as well, right?
Yeah, who's going to be playing like probably the third unit of defense. So, I mean, I'm a little worried about them goalie wise. They signed Bernier, but I mean, Blackwood and Bernier's doesn't like scream amazing to me. But you said you had an opinion on the Devils. Let me hear it.
It's no different from what I was mentioning about Chicago. I think arguably they probably did better than Chicago, and I believe there's more moves that they made. I'm pretty sure there's more moves that they made on Jersey. But Dougie Hamilton's probably by far one of the best moves best players that they were able to pick up. I think Blackwood and Bernier can complement each other and probably split the duties. I think Tatar will do very well for them. That's pretty much all my opinion on Jersey.
Yeah, I think that they're probably close to a playoff team at this point.
No, I think they're a couple of years ahead. A couple of years.
And they're going to keep getting draft picks and stuff. So good for them. I mean, quickly touching on Tampa Bay, I know we wanted to say something. You said you think they're still a contender?
Yes.
Like easily. Well, where would you rank them? Number 1 still?
Yep.
Okay. I mean, I'm not going to hate you for that. For me, they're probably like they're top 5. They're probably like 4th or 5th, but you can't count them out, right? I mean,
they still got the best defenseman in the NHL. They still got the best goalie in the NHL. They still got one of the 2 top forwards in the NHL, and Kucherov and Point.
Yeah, And then you have maybe one of the most underrated forwards in the NHL in Palat. So I'm going to absolutely agree with you that they're still a contender. For me, they're not number one, but I mean, at this point,
So who's number one?
It's hard for me. That's what I'm saying. It's hard for me to say this, but I think it's Colorado still.
Well, definitely we said that last year, but
I know, but I really wish they got Frederik Andersen. I think that would have been a huge.
If Colorado got Frederik Andersen, I would not comfortably say that they were number one, because Frederik Andersen he has not played well in the last couple of seasons.
I mean,
for me to say that he's one of the better goalies. Sorry.
He was better than the guy that they had, who for some reason it escapes me his name. I know that they have Darcy Kemper now. But what was his name? It wasn't Varlamov. It was the goalie from Washington, right? What the hell? Anyways, I could care less. Anderson was a better goalie.
In what year?
In any year.
I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, move on.
Yeah, I'm already done with that. I was waiting for you. But I mean, Colorado, I think, is up there. They keep ranking Vegas really highly, and after this offseason, I don't see Vegas the same way. Just going to be honest. Even if they get Tarasenko, I don't think Tarasenko is that good anymore. So let's just go. These kind of these intermingle with each other. So let's go Edmonton, I guess, and then the Leafs. We touched on it a bit in the last episode, our feelings on what Edmonton does. Zach Hyman at $5.5 million for how long? 8 years? 7 years? Is ridiculous.
7.
Ridiculous.
Good on him for getting paid and getting that contract. I mean, he went from playing with the Rocket Richard Trophy winner to now playing with the MVP of the NHL. I don't know.
I think that in halfway into this contract, it will be regretted. He might shine for the first 2 seasons playing with Connor McDavid, but the way his game style of play and his actual abilities, when he starts to age, I don't think is going to look any better than it does.
Same can be said about Ovechkin, but he's been able to sustain that kind of type of play. Now, I'm not comparing Ovechkin to Hyman by no means, but if Hyman is able to sustain that, I mean, good on him. But he is not skilled. He's not. I don't get the contract.
Yeah,
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Neither do
I. Don't get it. I mean, even if he does go ahead and scores 40 goals next year, I don't know. Like, people like to think that he's the heart and soul of the Leafs team. I don't know. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I like, if he was the heart and soul of that team, he would have been the captain.
Listen, you want me to tell you something? It's once again this conversation that we always have. It's called homerism, where you just think that everyone who plays for your team is your buddy and we're best friends and I love you. No, it's objective, and he was never a good hockey player. He was probably a nice guy, and he did his job.
He does his job by going down and hunting the pucks, but he's not a skilled player. He's not.
I agree.
He is not the guy to send into the opposition zone with the puck.
No, and it's funny that you just
he's the guy to go hunt down the puck.
You just said that specific thing, and that's a problem that I had a lot last year, where he was trying to carry the puck into the zone all the time.
And all those times where I'm screaming, shoot the damn puck, because the only time you would ever shoot the damn puck is if he's shorthanded and he's killing penalties, which he's very good at. I will give him credit for that. He's very effective at killing penalties. He is not the player that you should be playing on the goddamn power play. Like, what the hell? But I don't want to go into that.
Well,
Good on
okay.
him. Great that he got the money. I'm happy for him. Not the heart and soul of the team. And no. I'm sorry. I don't see it. Because if there was a heart and soul of the team, they would have at least gone into the second round. But
so
they don't play like that.
Here's something else for you, and you can give me a little rant on this. So, in replacement of losing Larson, their immediate reaction was Duncan Keith. We talked about that, but they also brought in your good friend Cody Ceci, and they also threw a lot of money at Darnell Nurse.
Where do they get the cap space? I don't know. I don't get it.
Absolutely could not tell you that.
I don't understand. Like, I thought they had cap issues last year, and all of a sudden they're throwing away all this money.
They also re-signed Puyarvi, didn't they?
And Barry.
Yeah, so I don't know where they're getting this money, but
I don't think they signed Smith, did they?
Yeah, they did.
Did they? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
They signed Mike Smith for 3 years.
I don't know. I don't know what Edmonton's trying to do. I mean, like,
I think this is my personal thoughts on this, and I don't want to sit here and like crap on them anymore, but you didn't address any of your problems. If anything, you made your problems worse. You didn't get a goalie. You didn't get defensive defensemen. You didn't get gritty veteran players. You literally just lost the person and replaced them with the same guy. That's their whole team.
So they get one gritty player, and that's Hyman, but I mean,
I wouldn't call him gritty, but I agree with you in a sense, yes. I mean,
I don't know. It would be interesting to see how they roll these players out. Let's see what happens. I'm iffy on it. I don't necessarily agree with the money that they threw away at these players. Possibly on some of the players that they brought in. But you know what? Maybe they do know something that I don't know, and hey, that's why they're doing what they're doing.
I'm sure Hyman is going to look like an amazing player playing with McDavid.
Of course, he's going to look like it. He's going to be playing with Connor McDavid, for Christ's sake. And did they trade away Nugent Hopkins, or they still have him?
No, they signed him as well. They signed him. He's getting $2 million less. I'm pretty sure, you can check me on this. It's either $1 or $2 million less than Zach Hyman. Yeah.
You're weighing your options here, because they signed Hyman for 7 years and he's 29 years old. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, let's move on, man.
Okay, we're definitely moving on.
Let's move on, because we're gonna keep saying I don't know and I don't know.
I mean, it's a head scratcher with Edmonton. I really just don't get it. I mean, there's some I don't knows right here on the Toronto Maple Leafs, which is where we're about to go right now.
Yeah.
So,
are we doing this now?
Yeah. Do you want to hop into that?
All right. This is one of the lesser moves that they made. Curtis Gabriel.
Kind of irrelevant.
750,000. Only played about 11 games last year. 2 goals, 1 assist. Definitely not bringing him in because of his skill.
He's a spot filler.
I think they're bringing him for some toughness. The only problem with him is he just has to learn how to behave and use his toughness a little more wisely. If he's going to earn a spot on this team.
I don't think he gets a spot. I think he's going to end up in the Marlies.
I think he might flip-flop back and forth.
Yeah, okay. He's a spot filler.
You know what I mean? Would you say that it addresses a small need on the team? Like, need some toughness.
It addresses the need in the sense of the most like generic form of answering the question. So like, do you need a tough guy? Okay, go. I have a list of 890 tough guys in the NHL. I'm just gonna throw a dart, and whoever it lands on, I'm gonna pick. I think it addresses the need in the sense that he is a tough guy, but I don't think it helps you because he's not a very good player, and he, like you said, he has issues. So
750,000.
that's what I mean. It's not a loss, but I don't think it solves your problem, is what I'm saying.
I mean, it's no big loss, but like it just there's no risk.
No, you're correct.
There's no risk. Okay, Michael Bunting, 2 years, 950K AAV. Projected to be a Hyman type player, but like 5 years younger.
He already shows that he has more skill than Zach Hyman. But he was definitely brought in as the type of player to kind of fill that Hyman role.
Yeah. And if it doesn't work out, they can easily bury him in the AHL. Another low risk move, I guess. 950K.
I think most of the Leafs moves this year were low risk.
Yeah. I think they definitely made that.
They have a lot of reclamation.
They did
projects.
that intentionally. They did that intentionally.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah, David Camp, 6'2" center.
Yeah.
Who can win faceoffs, kill penalties, take some shifts against top competition 5-on-5 at $1.5 million cap hit.
This is my thing with him. He's still young. He has a decent ability as a player. He's not like a complete, like, I can't play hockey. He does have ability. He shows potential. He's a very good face-off winner. And he's not scared to play physical. He was Chicago's best penalty killer for the last 2 seasons. Last year, I saw it on one of the videos I watched. He played 40 more minutes on the penalty kill than any other player on the team. That's a lot. Like that shows you he's your most dependable penalty killer, which is exactly what the Leafs needed. A permanent center. Now you have 2 guys that you can run out there at that position with Kerfoot and with Kampf as permanent centers on your penalty kill.
I think this one is going to show a lot more promise. But I'll go through all of them and then I'll give my opinion on everyone. Because it seems to be a common theme with everyone here. That
they're all Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds?
2 things, I guess.
Okay.
Andre Cache, $1.25 million. Very injury prone. I believe he's already suffered a few concussions already. But if he can turn into a player that he was projected to turn into, this would be an absolute bargain.
This is
another risk move.
This is another Galchenyuk. This is another Galchenyuk move, but with a much higher upside. He came into the league as a pretty highly touted prospect. He has actual real goal scoring ability, like a real goal scoring ability. He's a solid two-way player, and he just couldn't stay healthy. That was his problem. If he works out for you, this is a huge win. A huge, massive win. So, I mean, hopefully it works out.
Nick Ricci, $2.5 million AAV. Okay. Go for it. Sorry, I was going to read through a few more items, but just go for it.
I think this, to me, this is your real Hyman replacement. This is the guy that they wanted. He possesses 2, maybe 3 times the amount of actual hockey skill that Zach Hyman has. He can be in the right position, a legitimate 30-goal guy if you put him in with the right people. He's not scared to dig. He can do everything that Zach Hyman did, and he's a good addition to you on the power play, and he's not like the greatest defensive player, but I mean, you don't need him on the penalty kill.
Big body, 25 years old. He's a winger, which is definitely something that they do need. Very undisciplined. He takes a lot of bad penalties. So if they can just clean that up, I think that would be a great pickup. Peter Mrazek, 3.8. Is it 3.8?
I think it's 3.7 or 3.8. Yeah,
$3.8 million a year. Injury riddled, but when you look at his save percentage, one of the best in the NHL.
I'm going to allow you to say that because it's a fact, but I don't believe in his abilities to the fullest extent. I think when he played in bad situations, he didn't play very well. He played very well on a very good team. And I'm not saying he's a bad goalie. He has, like, if you line up his career and his potential and his ability and you put it next to Jack Campbell, you basically have two Jack Campbells at this point. And the thing with Jack Campbell in the beginning was he was just like Cache or Kampf or Richie. It was like a reclamation project that you were just hoping was going to work out for you, and it did. But now you have two of them. As far as backup goalies go, outside of Campbell, I think this is the best backup goalie the Leafs have had in a long time because I'm not counting Anderson as a backup. But it takes away a lot from Campbell. You spent all this time building this guy up as your starting goalie, and we know he has confidence issues in himself, right? And now you're all of a sudden going, they're going to split the season. How does he feel now? You just bigged him up for an entire season, took away your actual starting goalie, who's an amazing goalie in Anderson, to let Campbell play, and now you're bringing in another guy, and in his first year, you're just going to let him play half the season? Do you want a split goalie? I would like to know that too. Do you want to do a split goalie?
I think they did it based on what happened last year when Jack Campbell went down in injury, and they didn't have anybody reliable to fill in those shoes. Hutchison played well, but unfortunately didn't win a lot of games. Riddick, I don't think played very well. Anderson was injured, and I'm going to place blame on him because he was injured, played, re-aggravated his injury, made it worse for himself, and it was never the same when he came back. Played like crap in the AHL. I'm sorry. And they were saying that he was ready. He played like crap in the AHL. Give up 5 goals.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that.
But if they're trying to formulate a plan where they want to split up the goalie duties, I think this is a pretty good plan. And I think what they're trying to do is, if one goalie sucks and the other one is playing well, then they just ride the hot goalie. It's up to Mrazek to stay healthy, and for the Leafs coaching staff to formulate a plan where they can keep Mrazek healthy, split the goalie duties, and at the end of the day, Campbell looks like a guy that is just down for anything. I don't know if his confidence is definitely going to be shot. I don't know if he's kind of hurt by the plan. I think he's just, at the end of the day, willing to do whatever he needs to do to win and not worry about all the BS that's going to come along with this sort of goalie controversy that I know the Toronto media is going to stew up halfway through the season of next season. So, let's see what happens. And then the funny thing is, Hyman's getting $5.5 million a year. So it's so funny because I got a text not too long ago showing me that Montreal is not paying a lot of money for a lot of their stars or whatever the case may be. But when you take Matthews' contract, Marner's contract, Nylander's contract, and Tavares' contract, it pretty much makes up for like a huge portion of the Montreal lineup. But then when I'm looking at these contracts, the Leafs just signing these players, Bunting, Camp, Cache, Richie, when you combine that, it makes up for pretty much Hyman's contract. So, a lot of low risk moves. I mean, they're going to stick with their guns. They're when I saw the press conference with Kyle Dubas saying that he's going to stick to his guns and stick with these guys and stick with the big guns, it shows that he's committed. But this is probably the first time when I actually watched that press conference, I saw doubt. So I think he realizes that his job is on the line.
I think he should realize that, and I think his job should have been on the line for the last 2 seasons. I like
can't take away from the fact. I'm okay with the moves that he made. I think he still needs to get someone to fill in Zach Bogosian's shoes. I don't think people realize how valuable Zach Bogosian was last year in that bottom pair. I just don't think people realize it. People could talk about Liljegren. People could talk about Sandin, Dermott. The common theme was all of them were comfortable when they played with Zach Bogosian. So
he did his job, and
he did his job, and he doesn't get enough credit. And I think it was myself, you, even Bargo, in the beginning of last season, we're like, okay, Zach Bogosian is one of the better pickups that they made last year. One of the best pickups that Dubas, one of the best decisions that Dubas made last year in the offseason. And pretty much a staple on that defense, because that Toronto defense was amazing, very well, very good compared to prior seasons. So I went off on a bit of a tangent there, but
I kind of have to agree with you, and I think realistically, like last year we talked about best team on paper, which was, I think, 100% fact. This team is not that, but I do think that this team, the retooling that they did is potentially going to help us more than having the best team on paper. What I am worried about is I would have liked to keep Bogosian. I think just having Bogosian in this roster specifically makes us so much better. But having the fact that Sandin and Dermott are now going to be permanent pieces in your starting lineup is what scares me.
I'm not too crazy about it.
No,
I'm not.
I prefer Sandin any day over Dermott.
But they're going to have to play in both.
I know.
A lot of people talk about Liljegren. Liljegren didn't play that well. He did not.
No, he was very bad last year. He was very bad.
He was not great. And Dermott was. I don't think he played well. I don't know. I'm very, very.
I'm not a Dermott fan. I'm just going to be honest.
I'm hoping that Dubas realizes that, and he goes out and picks somebody up, for cheap. And I really hope he's able to find someone, similar to Zach Bogosian that could fill that role, because I just don't think their defense is good enough. I think they've improved, but I don't think they're going to be that great, because they're going to have to ride the top two pairings a lot.
Oh yeah, I think you're going to see some kind of move in place here. Sorry, with
Oh gosh,
you're going to see some kind of move in place here with Liljegren and one of the other like extra forwards or something, and it's going to be to get a defenseman. Because I can't see you riding Dermott and Sandin all the way to the playoffs. Like
I just doesn't. I don't think it's going to happen.
You need another defensive defenseman.
Yeah,
an experienced one.
Yes, I talked about before some of the similarities And the biggest similarity being, yes, a lot of Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds players, former players coming back, but a lot of Canadians players coming back, and that should, a lot of Ontario boys actually. That should probably make Don Cherry a little happier.
Oh, that was random as hell, but I love it.
But he still talks about it too, eh? But
he never stops talking about it.
The fact that they're bringing some Canadian players back, let's see how that goes, because I know that they're extra motivated to play for the Leafs. So hopefully that'll works out. The funny thing is, like, all of these players that they brought back, with the exception, well, yeah, you know what? I would include Mrazek in that same category. A lot of upside, low risk, a lot of upside. If it doesn't work out, they can bear the contract.
Yeah.
But if it does work out,
you look like a genius.
He looks like a genius. And, I think it's for an 82 game season, this was probably the way to go. Bringing Thornton back for an 82 game season, definitely not the way to go. I don't think that would have been the right pickup.
Do you think he gets picked up by anybody?
No, I think his time is pretty much done. I think he's playing in Europe right now. I don't know if anybody picks him up. I really don't think anybody picks him up. And Marleau hasn't even been picked up either.
I don't think anyone's taking him either.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think it's going to happen, man. I really don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah. Best case scenario, I think you're going to get a team like Pittsburgh again, or Philadelphia, or Washington that's going to pick up Marleau on like a $700K contract to play on the fourth line. I don't think you're going to get anything better than that. He's definitely more useful than Thornton. He can still skate.
He can still skate.
Yeah.
But you know what the funny thing is? Like, at the end of the day, it's up to Marleau. If somebody offers him a contract and he feels like making that sort of commitment, I mean, it's up to him, really. Like, but I think their time is done. I really do think it's done for them, and good on them, because they had some great careers. But in retrospect, for last year, he played all right, but I don't know if Thornton was the right move.
I agree.
I don't know.
It looked like a good idea, and it didn't play out.
I really wish Nick Foligno would have stayed.
Mm-hmm. He went to Boston. We didn't even mention that. He's on Boston.
But he's a jackass, so
yeah.
Sorry, I'll say it.
It's true.
Oh yeah, I'm a huge fan of him as a player, but so the guy The guy says that I feel bad. We didn't really get it done, and oh, by the way, I'm going to Boston. Like, okay, so
yeah, which made it worse, because before he signed in Boston, he was saying all kinds of comments like he's not going to resign with the Leafs 100%. He's going to play with his brother. And then he didn't even go there. He went to Boston.
He didn't go there. He went to Boston. And then he's saying things like, "Oh, I feel bad for Toronto because we really didn't get it done. We really had a good team. I played. I was still hurt. We should have done better." Okay, well, you had the chance to do better. You could have signed with them next year, but instead you decided to go to Boston. How much did you get signed for? I believe it was $4 million?
Yes.
You're telling me that the Leafs wouldn't have offered him $4 million? Because as far as I know, they offered Hyman $5 million.
As far as I know, I believe I said this. I heard it on the radio, so this is obviously not fact. This is Radio Toronto people. They offered deals to Bogosian and Foligno, and they both turned it down. And Hyman also turned down the Leafs offer. Oh, who is Zach Hyman to turn down $5 million to get 5.5 in Edmonton? I'm sorry. Anyways, that's all I have.
Simmons came back. He got.
I'll take it. I'll take Simmons.
He got less than last year, so he's getting paid $990K. And Jason Spezza got a $50,000 raise.
Jason Spezza, I hope
underpaid.
I hope they work out some kind of backdoor deal here where they can, and next year or something, they can drop him like $10 million. That guy's the heart. That's the heart of the team. That's the heart, not Zach Hyman, Jason Spezza.
You know what? I would probably agree with you on that one.
I think Bargo would agree with us too.
And the fact of the matter is, I really do hope that they win it because Jason Spezza deserves it.
He absolutely deserves it.
Keeps coming back year after year, takes a pay cut just so that he can come back and play with this team. That to me is an example.
That's the perfect example of what a hockey player is. To me, like a good old school 90s, 80s hockey player. You're not there for the money. You want to win.
Well, I guess this is a pretty good segue. Do you think Riley resigns with this team next year? The following year.
You're not going to like me for this because you already don't like what I have my feelings on.
Well, before you say anything, just take this into consideration. The cap goes up $1 million. One. Two.
Oh, there's two things?
Two.
Okay.
They stop paying Phil Kessel, so you
up get $2.5 million.
Yeah.
It's like 2.3 or something, right?
Yeah.
If I'm not wasting 2.3 extra $1 million on that stupid guy.
Stupid guy?
Yeah, stupid guy.
Okay.
If he's willing to come back for that $1 million additional, I'm not paying Morgan Riley $9 million. You don't do anything defensively. So what are you bringing to the table?
$9 million.
That's what they're saying that he's going to get is $9 million. His value on the market is $9 million. The YouTube community of hockey analysts.
Yeah, but doesn't necessarily mean he's going to ask for it. I mean,
Dougie Hamilton just got 9. PK Subban got 9 before that. Morgan Riley is going to ask for $9 million.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. He only had one good year anyway.
Darnell Nurse got $9 million.
Yeah, but that's because Edmonton is just...
Well, listen, I'm not saying he's a terrible player.
No.
But I'm not willing to pay him. What does he get now? 5?
No, he's getting 4. He's getting less than Muzzin.
I will pay you $6 million maximum. I don't feel like putting more than that $6 million down for a guy that doesn't really help you on the defensive end is worth it.
I don't know if that's what he is. I don't think that's his job.
But he was a liability in the playoffs, both the last 2 years.
He was. That's the reason why they brought a really good partner for him in Brody.
I really hope Brody shows up. I hope Riley shows up. If Riley has a great year this year and the Leafs win the cup or go all the way to the finals or make it to Game 7 in the semifinals, you know what? Give Morgan Riley what he deserves. But if he does again what he's done the last 2 years, I don't think he deserves more than $6 million.
How old is Dougie Hamilton? How old is PK Subban?
Subban, I think, is 33.
Mm-hmm.
And Dougie Hamilton is like 28.
I think that's the difference between Riley and the other two is the fact that Riley is 26, 27?
I think Riley came in the year after Hamilton. Hold on. You look up Riley
quickly. So he is Morgan Riley is
Hamilton is 28.
27.
Yeah, it was the year after. So I remember Riley came the year after. But
27 is going to be looking for Morgan Riley's going to be looking for a big payday.
I know.
Now would be his shot.
Yeah, exactly. This would be his last big contract. I know you have feelings on Hamilton.
He's going to be in his prime.
Yeah,
but he's going to be in his prime.
But I mean, Hamilton is a better two-way player by far than Morgan Riley is. He's a way bigger defenseman too.
Well, let's see what happens. I mean, maybe Morgan Riley can work something out.
Let's see.
If Morgan Riley does work something out and takes a team-friendly contract, I mean, that's mad respect for him. I mean, even if he does get a little bit of a raise and they're able to keep him, mad respect for him because he's doing what he needs to do to help the team go forward. So, I don't know. let's see what happens. I'm not going to criticize her. I'm not going to say anything just yet.
So hold
but
on,
to
wait.
me, I think he's more valuable than.
Last thing.
Yep.
Do you think when you free up whatever it is, like $2.3 million for next season after the Kessel thing comes off the books, do you think that entire $2.3 million it should go to him? If that's exactly what he wants to get paid, do you think you should take your whole rest of your budget and pay Morgan Riley? If the same team that you've had for 6 years has been a failure for 6 years.
But do you place blame on just one guy?
No, but I'm saying, but if you have the opportunity to bring in someone else or bring in 2 people, would you rather use that extra money to just bring back a guy and do the same thing all over again?
Depends on who's available.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. It's hard to say. It depends on the availability. Depends on who's available, and depends. It just depends. It's very, very hard to answer that question. I will not shut the door on that.
Stupid guy.
I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't say no. But anyway,
that's all I have.
I'm done. I gotta go eat.
All right, he's gonna go eat, guys. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you're gonna go eat in the comments.